This podcast is brought to you by Most Valuable Podcasts, leading the league in podcasting entertainment.
What's up, everybody? Ricky Widmer here, along with Dave Oster, or should I say, who the fuck is this guy? According to the
you should
San
probably
Francisco
kill yourself.
49ers.
Also known
yeah,
as.
that is a great We've been getting some great comments on your 49ers
I love the
video.
fans. I love you guys. Bring more of that love to me.
Well, and we know that we get it enough here on the Fast Break. It's
Yeah,
nice
we do.
to see it all the way around, especially when they are outspoken as it is. And also, you might be wondering, hey guys,
Is there Mr. Sean Anderson?
look what side of the table Ricky's on. Dave, it's back to us.
Yeah.
We're taking over the show again.
Sean, yet again.
He likes his music festivals.
Yep.
I think it was 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
It was Pitchfork.
Now it's Lala.
Oh, gotta go to Lollapalooza. Oh no, what do you do if you miss Lollapalooza, Dave? Me and Dave, though, we are loyal to the Fast Break
We're holding down the fort.
following. And yeah, we'll hold down the fort while Sean's on here. We got a great show, guys, lined up for you. Of course, we're talking Kyrie's in the news. We can't skip Kyrie.
Of course not.
Got to talk Kyrie and the Cavs. Then we're going to look at Giannis and can he win the MVP, Dave? Can he win it next year? We're going to look into it. Don't give you an answer right now.
Smart dodge of the last name.
Don't want to spoil it. Well, I got to practice it a little bit before we get to that part of the podcast. And then we got a fun one for you. Going to be talking NBA 2K18 because Dave thinks the rookies, more so Fultz and Ball, you think they're overrated.
Overrated.
I think they're overrated. And we are going to get into that. But let's start right away with Kyrie Irving. And the big news, no news, like it's news, but it's not news when it comes to the Kyrie Irving trade situation, is that he came out and basically said, yeah, you can trade me to a team, but I'm not going to commit to him. I'm not going to sign a long-term deal. I'm still going to play out my contract and be a free agent when I'm a free agent in 2 years.
Yeah, it's an interesting move. I mean, he, like you said, it's still a 2-year contract, but at the same time, he's like, free agency thing, I think I'm going to get involved in that. And I don't blame him because, look, free agency is a great thing. In today's NBA, it's like, it's choose your own adventure. Like, do you want to go ride the coattails of someone better than you and get it, compete for a championship? Do you feel like you're the man and, doing that gives you a little more leverage over your organization? So I think it's kind of an interesting move, but at the same time, it really does kind of shoot the Cavs in the foot because now when they try to sell him to another team, it's like, yeah, you get him for 2 years and no guarantees after that. Like, fingers crossed, no tradesy backsies.
Yeah, and I mean, I kind of, in all of this kind of trade discussion and basically everything that's going on with Kyrie, because there are outside things that are going on along with this. Like,
what else is going on?
There's also that, like, the wedding thing where Steph Curry was doing the dance like this to make fun of LeBron in that workout video. Who was right next to him at Harrison Barnes' wedding? Kyrie Irving. And right now, I kind of get this weird feeling that he's kind of putting the Cavs between a rock and a hard place to where it's like, well, we could bring you back because teams are not going to trade for you because exactly like you said, why would I want to trade for a guy and have to give up multiple picks, multiple assets,
potentially multiple,
just to get him on the team because that's what the Cavs are looking for. But also it puts them in that kind of hard place, rock place, because it's like, well,
between a hard place and a rock.
You guys know what I was talking about. You guys know.
Hard place, rock place. Come on, guys.
But what I'm saying is it kind of puts them where it's like, okay, if we bring them back for the beginning of the year, things might be okay at the beginning. Like LeBron and Kyrie might come in as professionals, but then it's like, who knows what could go awry
but are they
within
really?
a season.
I mean, from what we've seen already, Kyrie speaking publicly.
Professionals.
Yeah, no, I'm saying, can you trust the fact that he and LeBron will both be professional?
I would not.
Or do you expect there to be a blow-up if they're in the same building at the same time on the same team?
I would expect a blow-up just because I look at the team. First off, I put Kyrie as the number one blame. Everything that has been going on, he's been the most immature out of this whole situation. Of course,
is the youngest.
Of course, you're sitting there going, well, Ricky, obviously you're not going to say LeBron because LeBron was blindsided by it. But even LeBron is like, hasn't been, well, he probably knew that there was a rift coming between him and Kyrie. But the way Kyrie's kind of acted about it, it's like, so you want to go be the guy for someone else, but you don't want to commit to anybody. You don't want to, and I feel like there's kind of this, with Kyrie, there's no, like, I'm not going to give anything up for you. Where most trades we've seen where it's like, you see guys, well, okay, if I want this, I got to give up a little something. That's
Right.
how negotiations
It's a give and take
work.
game.
I give, you give, and in the end, you try to be the one that gives the less.
But this
or
is
gives
the NBA,
least, I should say.
and the players have all the power, and that's the big
Well,
difference.
that's where all the star power is. It's with the players, not the
exactly.
teams.
That's what I'm saying. So I mean, the NBA is a different kind of beast when it comes to these deals. So I just think it's kind of one of those interesting dynamics where Kyrie, by saying I'm not going to commit, I don't want to play under LeBron James, and and he recently spoke about wanting to be in a similar role as like Dame or John Wall, where the team builds around him. And we watched that experiment try to unfold early on in his career. He was drafted to the Cavs team. They went out, and the next year was Deion Waiters, and then of course the awful Anthony Bennett draft. Tristan Thompson was picked up as well before that, but it's just like, look, they try to build around you. LeBron James came around. Sorry, I mean, it's great. We could build this young core or LeBron James championship instantly. So they went that route. I understand. But even early on, he and Deion Waiters clashed right off the bat. It was, no, this is my team. Nope. Deion says it's his team. So it's that thing where I'm like, maybe it's because he had like a tiny taste, but it didn't go right for him early on in his career, that he's looking around being like, oh, the Wizards, they've got 3 key guys who all came up through the draft together, all signed long-term, now they're locked in. Looks over at the Blazers, similar situation. So I kind of start to wonder, I'm like, is he just chasing after this fantasy and being like, I want me to be the face of a franchise. I want the guys to be built around me instead of, being okay with being second fiddle to the GOAT. Well, I won't even say GOAT because I don't even believe that. But like, I just said that to get the blood pressure rising out there.
You almost gave me a heart attack, Dave.
A very good player.
I mean, come on,
now.
LeBron's not even the best two-way player in the NBA, Dave.
Michael Jordan.
That's Kawhi Leonard. Kawhi Leonard's the best two-way
Michael Jordan
player.
taking shots.
But I mean, I kind of look at this kind of in the same sense as you were saying, where I love how you use the word fantasy because that's truly what it is. Being the guy and being the number one piece, that is truly a
More
fantasy.
air quotes.
Well, I hate to say it, but I look at the Golden State Warriors, and they are possibly the only team right now in the NBA, besides maybe the Spurs. So the Spurs and the Warriors are the only two. The Warriors are more on the higher pedestal than the Spurs in this of the Warriors. It doesn't we know Steph is the number one and probably the most popular player on that team, but on that team you don't get the sense that Clay is jealous of Steph because he's the most popular, or Draymond's jealous of Clay or jealous of Steph, or when Durant won the MVP, you didn't get Steph Curry is jealous of KD because Curry's the most popular on the team and technically the captain, and Kevin Durant won the MVP. No, they're just happy for each other and happy being a team. And then it's the complete opposite with Cleveland, where it was clear that LeBron James is here, Kyrie Irving is number 2, and with Kyrie it doesn't sit well. However, I kind of feel like you're being a hypocrite when you're like, you know what, I want to be the guy for a team, and then a team goes, yeah, we want to trade for you, but if you want to be the guy, sign on with us. And he goes, nah, I don't want to commit to anything.
I don't want to lock myself down to you.
I don't want to commit to anything. It's like, then how are you going to be the guy? No, I
think he's hoping that they're going to, in that 2-year time period, is a show me you want me kind of a game, which, again, puts the organization in a bad place because now they have to prove to this player that we're committed to you. We're going to make more moves, which is a la LeBron. We're going to go out and get all the guys you want us to get. We're going to try to fill in that team around you. And I just feel like, again, we're putting an organization at a potential risk where if in 2 years he doesn't want to, if he's like, this isn't working out, I'm done. And then they've got a team of role players around Kyrie Irving, and what are you going to walk away with?
Kyrie will be traded. There is no way he hits free agency at the end of his contract.
I don't.
The only thing
at the end of his contract, he probably will hit free agency.
No, but I'm saying he's going to be traded before he hits the end. The Cavs, if it gets to a contract year, and we get to the trade deadline of that contract year, there's no way that the Cavs, I don't want to say there's no way, because obviously there is a way, but I think it would 1%. Be completely idiotic of the Cavs to let Kyrie walk for nothing. Even if you are in that year going, you know what?
Give me Victor Oladipo.
We're truly not winning. We're taking Sabonis and Oladipo for Kyrie. So basically just trade Kyrie for Paul George. But I honestly think that this year a trade gets done. I don't know if that's before, like you and me were talking before the podcast, and you jokingly said, man, I wish a Kyrie trade would just drop right now.
Seriously.
Just fall right into our laps. I don't know if it happens in the offseason, though, because I wonder if it's kind of a situation like Melo, where Dan Gilbert and the Cavs probably think, you know what, let's have this blow over. Once they get into camp, it'll all be fine. Or they're thinking, well, LeBron is going to walk. Once LeBron is out of town, then it's Kyrie's team, and this won't be a problem because the main problem in LeBron won't be here anymore. He'll either be with the banana boat or in LA or somewhere that is
greener
not,
pastures.
That is not the Cavs. And I wonder if they can kind of convince Kyrie to stay. Because part of me feels like, yeah, Kyrie, you want to be the number one, but part of me gets an inkling where he doesn't want to play second fiddle to LeBron, but he also doesn't want to be in Cleveland either.
Yeah, I almost feel like there's a lot of distrust in that ownership because of, Griff leaving. That doesn't help, first off. But
how they treated the whole GM process.
Yep. And then, the move over kids, LeBron's coming back to town, get shoo, you can help. But
Andrew Wiggins, you're gone because we got to bring in K-Love now.
Exactly. And I mean,
to appease LeBron.
Kevin Love took a smaller role on this team, and he has not been very vocal about it. He's been pretty professional. And
he actually poked fun at Kyrie when all this went down.
Yeah, I was going to say, I remember that tweet about it, It's
peculiar, Dave. It's peculiar.
It's a peculiar offseason, yeah. I think it's just interesting that Kyrie has taken... I don't even want to say it's such an ego trip for him to say this, but it does feel like what is your priority when playing the game of basketball? Are you there for the love of the game? Are you there for the money? Are you there to make yourself a bigger brand? What is his goal? What motivates him? Because everybody has their own thing. Everybody's gonna say they love the game. I get it. Everybody does to an extent, but when you guys are ring chasing, there's a different goal there than, becoming your own guy and establishing yourself. KD could have gone to the Nets for all I care and been like, this is my city. I'm taking over Brooklyn.
Yeah. Or he could have went home to the Wizards.
Could have went home to the Wizards. But then that would have been, John Wall, Bradley Beal. Yeah. That's a little bit of extra. So it's more so where do you want to go and what are you trying to prove with this move? And for me, I think Kyrie is just so dead set on the idea that he has to prove he's not, LeBron's shadow. He can actually accomplish something on his own. And I feel like that has just put some weird chip on his shoulder, like a cloud over his head all the time that, I think it just, I don't think there's a chance that they can hold on to him for 2 years or for the next year and hope when LeBron leaves that, we'll be all like, yeah, we're good now, right? LeBron's gone. We totally like you. We're going to build around you. And I don't think that's super likely. I think that just trying to hold on to him for that year is going to be hard.
What I would do is by the trade deadline at the latest this year, I would move Kyrie.
Yeah.
And at the least what I would try to get, because I'm looking right now at an article where apparently the Suns have offered a deal where some of the main pieces are Eric Bledsoe, you get Dragan Bender. And then you also get, obviously they'd throw picks at the Cleveland Cavaliers. The thing is, would it be just one first, or would Cleveland want more than that for a Kyrie?
I think Bledsoe.
Because really they want
Bender,
Josh Jackson, but the Suns are saying no.
Jackson became a hard no for the Suns, which is interesting because again, it's a rookie who hasn't played, but some thought before the draft he was the number 2 overall player.
Yeah. Could have been the number 1 if Boston kept the pick. Apparently, early on, we were saying that.
Yeah, way early on. No, I think it's interesting that becomes like the linchpin for, we were joking around listening to Skip earlier today.
Yeah.
And, he's like, how is this guy holding you back from getting Kyrie Irving? That would be a steal. And I'm like, but is it really? Kyrie Irving, an excellent scorer in today's NBA. Point guard is one of the deepest positions in the NBA. We were talking about during our point guard rankings, 1 through 20, and you're happy. 20 point guard deep, and you're still happy with a starting point guard. And even the 20 to 25 range, you're still not upset. So it's one of those positions where the value, yes, it is depreciated because the quantity of good point guards out there is so high. And Josh Jackson, what he could be is something special because this is all about wings and positionless NBA. So I think that, yes, while the Suns are valuing him extremely high, they have every right to. But they're willing to give up Dragan Bender, a guy who, one of the youngest players out of the draft last year, and he was hurt, but he looked promising in limited spurts. So it's not nothing. Eric Bledsoe, a top pick in that draft, and then another another lottery pick likely.
Plus, let's also be honest, Bender, the whole thing that'd be different from the Suns to the Cavs with him is that right now it's him and Chris.
Yep.
And they are the same draft class, same kind of starting
They're both top
point.
10.
And it's like you're battling somebody that's on the same plane as you, where if he got to Cleveland and this trade went through, it would be, yes, I'm under K-Love. K-Love's not going to be here forever. I can just develop without having to worry, is it me or that
Plus,
guy?
he can stretch out and be, a outside five if they want to play it that way. They've used K-Love that way as well. So,
Yeah.
I mean, the two of them together definitely spacing out the floor. That reminiscent of what LeBron wants to do with the ball. So, I think that's actually not a terrible fit. I mean, a lot of this is kind of hoping on Bender, continuing to develop and hoping that one injury his first year hasn't totally set him back, and we're not all the hype kind of gets taken out of your sails after that first year. It's kind of like Stanley Johnson, Justice Winslow, all these guys who we talked about. When they came out,
I was so high on Justice Winslow.
When they came out,
So
it was
high.
these, and that's what I'm afraid. If you get injured, if you get that setback during your first couple of years, how are you going to continue developing? How can you get over that hill? So I think Bender still has a ton of value because he's so young. He's just going to be turning 20 in November. So again, I feel like that deal on the table for the Cavs is probably as good as it's going to get. I have a feeling as time goes on, this is going to be kind of like the Boogie thing where your value is only going down from here because the more Kyrie talks, the less you sort of want him almost.
It's kind of, and that's exactly what Boogie was, where the more he talked, it's like, I don't want that word cancer on my team.
Yeah, I know.
And to me, I look at it and I go, you have to do this. Even if I got Bledsoe, Bender, and a first, I think I would take it right now, only because, maybe not right now, only because I still feel, like I said, there's that part that's maybe they can work it out. However, eventually you're going to have to push that button because I look at your draft picks, and coming up, you have for 2018 a second-round draft pick.
Yeah.
You have a second-round draft pick, and that's all you have, and that's according to Real GM with the future picks. The next first you've got, it says actually the 2019. You gave that pick up to Atlanta. Right now, the only picks that are your own, are the 2019 second-rounder that you got from Minnesota or LA, whichever is less favorable, and then 2020 second-rounder. Those are the only draft picks you've got.
They've got three
no
second-rounders in the next 3 years.
Yeah.
That's where they're going to bring in talent and rebuild around Kyrie.
Exactly. I think you trade Kyrie because, let's be honest, you're not keeping LeBron.
Yep.
Even if you were able to blow the roof off the ceiling, they're the same thing. I get it. I'm trying to say, and get Melo to come in, play with LeBron. I think even if you did that, LeBron doesn't stay in Cleveland. I think LeBron is gone no matter what. Let's try to get a first so that we can start. You'd get Bender, who's a young player. You get Bledsoe, who's a veteran who can play point guard for you and start.
He's not that old either.
I know.
He's still prime.
Obviously, it's a step down slightly from Kyrie.
Yeah, I mean, it's a different role. I mean, Kyrie was your go-to shooter, the dude could light up from outside. Bledsoe isn't a fantastic three-point shooter. I think he was shooting 34% last year. So, again, it's just it's a different role, but same time, Bledsoe also brings a physicality, some defense, and a little bit of an all-around game where Kyrie just brings excellent scoring and amazing handles. So it's different roles, but same time, it's not necessarily net negative because, again, you're reassuring your future. You have longer-term deals with Bledsoe, with Bender, and then that next first pick. So it's not terrible, but at that point, are you building around K-Love? Is K-Love is he the future for this Cavs team? Or is K-Love getting shipped too? The
only other team and deal that I've heard that I would like if I was a Cavs fan would be the Timberwolves to get Wiggins, Jeff Teague, and a pick.
Right, because that, of course, taking place in December.
December, because of Jeff Teague being signed. You get Teague, who can start at the 1. You get Wiggins back, who can be your bright young star. And you get a first-round pick. That's the big thing. Get a young guy who can come in and start for you guys and be the future and get a first-round pick so that you can draft a guy to come in alongside him, because part of me kind of feels like if the worst thing for Cleveland, best and worst thing that could have possibly happened for them was winning that championship. It was the best because you look at it and we finally won a championship.
3 years of finals in a row. You got a championship
The
out of it.
factory of sadness finally has a championship.
No.
Thanks, Browns, for trying for so many years, but LeBron's got it. It was the worst, though, because I think that ring, as soon as it went on Kyrie's finger, went straight to the head. It went straight to his head.
He didn't make the shot.
Exactly. His ego inflated like a balloon, Dave.
Yeah.
And it just keeps going up, rising like a balloon into the atmosphere. And I think Kyrie's starting to think, hey, you know what? I made the shot. I won us the finals. I can do it. When really all of us are saying, look at what you were before LeBron. You weren't getting to the finals.
The difference is, though, I mean, he was like 21, 22 before
Do you
LeBron.
think the last 3 years, take LeBron off this Cavs team, do they get to the finals? With just Kyrie and the team they have?
No, they don't. But still, he's 25 now. I mean, I think that he's a top 10 point guard. And I think that, like, in all honesty, I'd like to see him try to run his own team. And that's no offense to, his role under LeBron. It's just more of a curiosity now for me because everybody is so heavily criticizing how it's LeBron's team. LeBron runs his team, and you're a secondary. And and so if you put him on a team to be the guy, I'm kind of curious. I mean, and that's why I want to see the Suns thing. Like, Devin Booker is an amazing offensive talent, so you have two fantastic shooters on that team. Nobody's going to play defensive guard. Nobody cares. And then you've got a bunch of younger talent as well. So, like, coming in at 25, you're the guy on that Suns team. I legitimately want to see that happen. I want this trade to happen to the Suns, like, ASAP, so we can watch how this develops. But you're right. I don't know if it's going to go down, in the next week. I hope it does. But, like, it just comes down to if Kyrie keeps opening his mouth, it ain't getting done anytime soon.
No, and that's the thing. And I think, like I said, for the Cavs, I think it needs to happen by this trade deadline, only because the thing I feel in my head, and I know this is it's one of those things kind of like how Cowherd says, I don't know how this is quite going to land. This isn't a proclamation. This is just what I am thinking.
Right.
I think that the drama in Cleveland, if they go past the trade deadline, will be too much. And this year we will get a Warriors-Celtics finals. Meaning the Cavs won't go to the finals because the drama will be too much. And I know there's going to be people where that's going to hit and they're going to go, well, you still have Kyrie on the team. They're still better than Boston. But Boston added Gordon Hayward, and they're a team right now that doesn't have this drama. And we don't know, like I said, what's going to happen. Is some body language thing going to happen between Kyrie, between LeBron this season? So that's where I think, I'll ask you one last time. Do you think it happens this year? This season he gets traded?
100% will happen this season. I think that, 99%.
What team?
I think it's the Suns. I think that offer or a very similar offer will finish it off. I with Carmelo saying, I'm not dropping my no trade clause, I just think that kind of is the final thing, because if you can't get Melo over there, then you're taking best offer available, which has been overwhelmingly the Suns. I don't think the Timberwolves are looking to move Wiggins anymore after that 5-year extension has been signed. So in my mind, it's down to the Suns or a crazy offer from like maybe the Bucks. Even then, that's an outlier.
I mean,
Detroit. Detroit could get, or Miami. Okay, so there's some wild cards out there.
The Bulls would be the biggest wild card.
0 chance.
Could you imagine?
0 chance.
We'll give you D Wade and like maybe campaign, right?
In what world is that fair value?
And we'll give them picks too, right? Right, guys.
I mean, we're giving them the number one overall pick this year, right?
You're right.
Right? We're giving the rights to Michael Porter Jr. That's how this is going to be fair.
Do you think the Bulls are going to be the number one?
Are we that stupid?
We could.
We
could be the first.
Garpax, baby. Garpax.
Garpax. They got the plan, but this is where
somehow
you guys
Ricky has turned this into a Bulls talk.
You guys tell us down below, and I'm quickly getting off it. Down below, what do you guys think? Is Kyrie going to be traded this season? We're asking it again, and really, what team should any team and what team trade for Kyrie, and what team will he be going to? Let us know down below in the comments section.